All right, guys, we're back. We're here to do Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 18. Before we get started with the video, I moved into my apartment. I got the keys yesterday, but I didn't finish moving everything until this morning. So I am tired. I have not been to bed, and I was up all day yesterday, and I got to be up all day again today. So it's going to be real crazy. But I wanted to make sure that I got this video and to give you guys an opportunity to see, my new digs. So this is the view, that I have. Oh, they got a train. Look at there. I got a train. I didn't know that. So this is the view and pan around. So that's the kitchen. And this is the living room. And so we'll go over here. So this is bedroom number 1. I'm going to make an office out of this and hopefully, improve, my YouTube videos and, maybe do something, else. Maybe a podcast or something. I don't know. I have to ask the Lord. So this is bedroom number 2. They look the same. Just wanted to, give you guys a view. Same closet space. And so, like I said, this is the kitchen. I got a dishwasher. I think that's a microwave. It might be a convection. I have to see. I'm really thankful that I have gas for my stove. And so we got the refrigerator. So let's go around here. And we've got, washer and dryer. And then we've got the bathroom. And I haven't put anything up, but just kind of, wanted you guys, to be able to see. Okay, so let us get to this video of Married at First Sight. Thank you for your time and attention. All right, so let me look at my notes. I'm going to start off with Kirsten and Shaq. So, wow, let me see. I don't know how to do this because normally I look at my videos. But anyway, I'm going to try to do this without looking at the video. So, they're showing the couples coming back from the retreat. And then we have Chris and Nicole, and Nicole said to Chris that she understood that he hasn't, used the pineapple, to communicate, with her. And Chris said that he didn't feel the need to do that. He thinks that he can have other cues to let her know, how he's feeling without having, to use the word pineapple. And then he suggested that they take down all the pineapples. So I don't know what that was about, but yeah, that was interesting. Nicole didn't want to do it, but she said, okay, the compromise is that she'll still have them, but she'll have them like in her office. And so he was cool, with that. So then I'm trying to think, what was the next thing with them? Okay, let me look at my notes for Chris and Nicole. I got pineapples. I got Chris meets with his brother. He said that his brother was a life coach. I think that his brother gave him encouragement, but I can't remember if he really asked him any pertinent, questions. But and then Nicole talked with her dad, and her dad likes Chris. He told her the decision is yours. He said you're either in or out. There is no halfway. There is no 99%. You're either 100% in or you're 100% out. So I thought that was good advice to kind of give her some, perspective. And she's still concerned about them moving in, together or, living in their separate apartments. So we'll see, how that goes, for them. And I want to say that's it. that I remember about them. That's all I have written down. So with, what is it, Jasmine and Eris, they're talking after they came back from the trip. And he thanks Jasmine for making the trip, a lot of fun, for him. And he told her that he was cool if she, wants to hold his hand or give him a hug. He said that he feels like it's natural, and he's cool, with that part of their relationship progressing. And so, but he did say that she's already, been doing that. So I guess he just kind of wanted to reinforce to her that he was cool, with it. And she and Gina went to a pole dancing class, and then Eris, showed up. Oh, Lord. Okay, so this joker got the fake dollars, and he is making it rain, child. And Jasmine, and I am really happy that I'm able to kind of interject this. When you have women like Jasmine, and when I was growing up, trying to live, in the Lord, but then, you also want a boyfriend. And I'm like, I told you guys, my first boyfriend cheated on me because, my friend, who was able to go out and date. I wasn't able to go out and date. I wasn't able to have, male company, over to the house. And the only time we actually really saw each other, was at school. And so, I don't know. I mean, looking back, I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, it really, it affected me. And it really kind of put me on a bad path, because it made me think that I had to kind of become more worldly in order to be able, to like I said, have a boyfriend. And I understand why Jasmine wanted to do the pole dancing class. It just really made me sad that she has to lower herself to try and make her husband see her as attractive and valuable. And I wish that girls understood that they don't have to do that in order to be appealing to a man. And it's just a bad message. And it just kind of broke my heart. So anyway, Dr. Pepper came on, and she said that because they had made improvement in their relationship, that they now got a chance to get the intimacy box. And so they went through the intimacy box, and I really appreciated, Eris giving Jasmine, a foot rub. And she used the feather, on him. Everybody was messing with him because, I guess they were so anxious, to kind of go ahead and do the filming that they didn't really give thought to kind of preparing themselves to be on camera. So, yeah. And Eris put the handcuffs on child behind his back. And Jasmine was trying to use the massager, on him. I cannot with Eris. So anyway, the other thing that was kind of disappointing to me is when they went to visit, the medium. I just don't have any judgment, because before I actually strengthened, my relationship with the Lord, I went, to have my palms read. I've had my palms read before, and I've gone, to not a medium per se, to talk to dead spirits and stuff, but like, kind of like I said, like a palm reading, kind of thing. And this is her stretching herself outside of her faith again, getting into things that if she says that she worships the Lord, then she has to make a choice. You're either going to walk by faith and take the guidance that is given to us, through the Holy Spirit, or she's going to take what the world, is telling her, and you can't do both. You can't hear the Lord while you're sitting up listening to the world too. We have to, make choices about if he's our king and he's our savior and he's our shepherd and leader, and whether it's more important to give him his glory and honor, or if it's more important, like I just said, to acquiesce to whatever is going on, in the world. It's not going to work, Jasmine. You're going to have to make a choice. And this is why it's not good to put an unbeliever with a believer. Yeah, it's just never going to work. I mean, and this is the thing, like if you go back and you look in the Bible, when Solomon, the Lord had to come to Solomon and he told him twice that he was moving in the wrong direction. And Solomon gave himself over to his wives. And when he did that, he started messing around in other religions. And he started letting his wives, do their, thing, having their little witchcraft and all the stuff that they had going on. And when Solomon died, he was actually, in my opinion, worse than David. Because remember when I was telling y'all about David and Bathsheba and her husband Uriah? So when David killed Uriah because he was trying to cover up the fact that he had gotten Bathsheba, pregnant, his kingdom was split in two. His punishment is that he broke his home. His sons started fighting with each other, and one of the sons was trying to come kill him. And it was just a whole mess. I mean, he the king, and he running around, running away from his son because he didn't want to kill him. But, I mean, child, it was just a whole mess. So, looking at Solomon, David told Solomon all of his mistakes. And David ended up putting his wives away. And he spent the last years of his life being dedicated. The Lord said that he didn't have no more problems out of David after he did that mess, with Uriah and Bathsheba. So Solomon started out good, but his ending was flawed. And a lot of people, the world has told us that Solomon is was the wisest man. He was the dumbest man. He was the stupidest man alive because he had David to take his hand and lead him through the do's and the don'ts. Like I said, he started out good. He asked for wisdom. He said, I don't, the money, I ain't worried about the money. I'd rather have wisdom. And the Lord found favor in Solomon, because of that. But because Solomon just couldn't. I mean, this joke, it's like the same thing with David. David, how many wives did you have? And then now you see Bathsheba and you just got to have her too. So now you done kill this dude, and look at Solomon. You've destroyed your relationship, with the Lord because you just couldn't get enough of women. So that's interesting. And it's just really a tale. I think of Samson, too. Samson, if you go look, he was a special baby. And the Lord gave instructions that he wasn't supposed to cut his hair. And that would maintain his strength. And he needed to be obedient to the word of the Lord. So then, if you go look at his first wife. So what happened? I know something happened with him and his first wife. And they ended up separating. And then I think her dad gave her to be married, to somebody else. So then he hooked up with Delilah and the Philistines. The Philistines at that time couldn't stand Samson because he was wearing them out. He was going up one side of them jokers and coming down the other one. So they were trying to figure out how could they, get the best of him. And so they sent Delilah. And she went in there and she started, doing her magic on Samson. And this joker told her that if he cuts his hair, he loses his strength. So then she went and told the Philistines. Then they waited until he was asleep and tied him up and cut his hair off. And then by the time he woke up, child, he was tied up, couldn't do nothing. And then they got so comfortable that they forgot to pay attention to him. And that joker's hair grew out just enough that he asked the Lord to give him the strength, and then he brought the Philistines' playhouse down. So because Samson couldn't control himself around the women in his life, his end ended up very bad. You cannot choose your wife ahead of the Lord. You cannot choose your husband ahead of the Lord. He is the head, and everybody and everything else comes after. So, I think I'm done with Eris and Jasmine with that. So let's look at Clint and Gina. So Clint and Hank go to get coffee, and apparently they have pup cups, over there. So he's got Hank eating out that little cup of whipped cream. I think that's what they give them. And it was just so cute. I really love that Clint embraced Hank. I remember when Gina had Hank come down the aisle, a lot of people were saying that they felt like Clint, was opposed, to Hank, him and his mother. And I didn't see that to be true then, and I don't see it, I just don't see it. Clint and Hank love each other. And then the other thing is, with these people, with these people who are out here who love Clint's dirty draws. I've never seen anything like this, on this level. When Clint is interesting. I don't have the words right now, but it does remind me of how people were about Ben. It was not last season, I don't think. It was the season before. It was Ben and Morgan. Everybody hated Morgan. I just loved Ben. Even when Ben admitted that he lied to his wife, he judged his wife, and he went behind her back after she asked him to keep the conversation private and went and told Justin. I mean, you done met this joker. He just met Justin. And so you have more loyalty to this dude that you just met than you do your own wife. And people vilified this woman. And I wasn't a Morgan fan, but what Ben did was jacked up, and people who sat up and amened his mess are reminding me of the same thing that they're doing, with Clint. Clint did not step up and be the husband that he needed to be in this experiment. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for him to go balls to the wall and show this woman who he is and how he's going to be able to show up for her, as a husband. And I told y'all that Clint does not know how to woo a woman. Gina wanted to be wooed. So this is not at this point an equal partnership, because he has to do the work to give her the level of comfort and give her that level of assurance and connectivity to soften her and to give her the opportunity to really look at him as a man, as a provider, as someone, who is competent and serious about things. But Clint is all about fun. And like I said, child, I love to have fun. But this is his fun, is not Gina's fun. And I see that. So for everybody, well, Gina wasn't a wife. You know, you said Clint wasn't a husband, but you wasn't a wife. See, they both have problems. But if Clint is running around telling everybody that he's the man, okay, I'm going to need to see this man that you keep running around, talking about. I haven't seen this joker yet. And like I said, I never saw work Clint. I think if Clint had presented himself in a more serious and in a more serious way and showed some direction, that it could have, really changed the dynamic of his relationship. So Gina takes him to go and get a haircut. And Lord have mercy, child, his cult members. Don't let her change you, Clint. I don't like this new haircut. Oh, I like it when he had it in the man bun. He didn't even have it in the man bun. Gina had to tell him to put it in the man bun. Clint walked around with his head looking the same way every day for 8 years. That's a long time. I mean, everybody needs to switch up their fashion every so often. And he is overdue. I actually wish that he had taken more off, to tell you the truth. But I think the guy, the stylist, he took it kind of easy on him and just kind of cleaned him up, gave him a trim, and it looks good. I just don't get it. I mean, black men go to the barbershop every week, and why can't Clint clean his hair up and get himself together, groom? They should have groomed his beard. If they had done the beard with the hair, child, that would have been a real improvement. So, yeah, Clint missed the opportunity there, and everybody who's whining, bitching, and crying and moaning about the haircut, get over yourselves. I mean, the man looks good. He needed to have an updated look. It's just, I can't, because I'm not going to do that. I got other stuff that I got to do today, and I ain't got time to go on a rant about these stupid people reviewing and looking at this show. So anyway, who are we looking at now? Okay, so Mack. So the title is going to be Return of the Mack, and I'm going to put in parentheses, wannabe. Because Mack is not as smooth as he thinks that he is either. I'm telling you, between him, Clint, and Eris, they make my head hurt. They really do. So we're going to see more of Mack on the next episode. He's going to be talking to Eris about sliding in Gina's DM. And in the outtake, he said that he didn't understand why Clint and Gina are not attracted to each other, because he thinks that they're both attractive people. And then he goes on to say that he wishes that he had been matched with Gina instead of Dominique. And so then they cut back to him and Clint, and he's, getting all the tea and the details, for Clint, that he's saying that he's being positive, giving him, the spin. And I'm wondering, now that I'm talking about it, I'm wondering if Eris talked to Mack about what's going on and kept him updated about what's going on with the couples. That just kind of jumped in my head. So we'll watch out and see what their conversation, is like. And so where is it? So then Clint and Gina meet with the experts, and he's giving the spin, and then Gina pipes up, and she says things that I feel that she didn't say to Clint. And I think she didn't say it to Clint because she didn't want to have a fight about it. And I don't know if she knew how to communicate, what she was feeling, to him. So she did it in front of the experts. And so he said that he felt blindsided, by it. And that's when he admitted that he didn't show up, as a husband. He was like, I'll take that. That's on me. Then shut up, Clint. then shut up. Don't be sitting up crying about her blindsiding you when you know that you didn't put your best self forward in order to make this marriage work. You got to take responsibility and stop at you and stop trying to continue to point the finger, at Gina. And the same thing, with Gina. The thing I like about what Jasmine did, Jasmine gave 100% of who she is to this marriage. And so if it doesn't work out, I think she's going to be one of the few people. I think her and Nicole probably will end up, with the most, who gain the most, out of this if, their marriages, don't work. They can still move on as individuals and continue to grow and mature and become excellent, human beings. And Jasmine, I really am. I'm really close to last season with Mitch. The season with Mitch. Yeah, I think that was last season with, who is it? Stasha and Nate and Christian and Alexis and them. So I'm trying to remember. But anyway, Mitch started out the worst. Ooh, Mitch, child, that boy was extra and special. But by the time the the season ended, and they did the Where Are They Now? Child, who is it? Mitch had turned the situation around. He acknowledged, his faults and what he, needed to do. He gave Kirsten the opportunity to stay married, and she was in her head. Oh, if you're not, if you're not head over heels in love with me, then, blah, 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 blah. Child, I ain't talking about Kirsten. I mean, Christian, right now. But yeah, she gave me a headache. And Mitch won the season, child. And I am about to do that. I'm about to crown Jasmine. I'm about to crown her the winner of this season. So, what are we doing? Okay, so Dr. Pepper, and I like Dr. Pepper in this season. She was like, look, I gave you an assignment. Did you complete it? And they're sitting there like, no, because, we had the retreat and this, that, and the third. She said, hey, I bet you if I told you it was $3,000, hooked up to it, then y'all would have found, the time to do what I asked you to do. So we're going to see how they feel after they complete the movie assignment that she asked them, to do. And Pastor Cal was sitting there, and he was looking at their body language, and he said that he felt that they were really comfortable, with each other. And so they had Gina really break down where she was in the disconnect. And one of the things that she was saying is, and she told Clint not to take this in a negative way, but she felt like when he does his cooking thing, he's not cooking for her. And what I heard in that, so if her favorite thing is, chicken and waffles, then instead of him frying fish or whatever it is, that he wants, to eat, make something that she likes, to eat. And, have that, for her instead of just, making up the menu and being Chef Clint. And so I kind of got, what she was saying. She said that she really appreciated, the fact that he cooked, but she didn't feel like it was something that he was doing for her, to get her attention, to make her feel special, to, do something extra for her that he wouldn't do normally, for other people, like the rest, of the crew. She said the stuff that he's doing is the same thing that he would do, for anybody else. But as his wife, she wanted him to kind of do something, on a more amplified, level. And I kind of got it. And so that's when, Clint is all in his feelings. And I was like, well, why is she doing this? What's the point? Okay, Clint. So am I finished? Do I have anything else? I got to talk about Kirsten and Shaq. Oh God, Lord have mercy. Okay, we're gonna get through this real quick because I can't do it. I'm hopping all over the place with them. I started off with that church production. So you mean to tell me y'all gonna put on clothes? I mean, like, you dressing up so that you can go sit in an empty church and have a conversation about the Lord. They could have did that at home. And I really am tired of Lifetime with this staged production. And they just won't quit. Oh man. Okay, so let me go. At the end of that, when what did she say? Lord, it's in your hands, or something, she said, oh, God, oh. All I got is tear, T-A-R-E. Look it up. Go look it up and see what the KJV has to say about wheat, like wheat bread, and tears. And that is exactly what Kirsten is. That's all I have seen out of her since the wedding. And she's been consistent, in that. So Kirsten talks to her brother, and I'm gonna go back to that. This is why I can't take Christians seriously. Because we've spent 7 weeks with these jokers, and this is the first time I have heard Kirsten or Shaq say that they have invited, the Lord into their marriage. And I don't believe them. Because look at it. It's just in tatters. They can't even hear each other. They continue to talk in circles, and it's like, if they say yes on decision day, oh man, my head gonna hurt. That's it. Okay. So Kirsten talked to her brother. I thought her brother asked really good questions. She said that she hasn't introduced him to their dad, and both of them started making faces. And he was like, "Yeah, child, he better be on his square, because when you go take him in front of their dad, he's the judge." And so Kirsten is just sitting there. And then she tells him that she wants to have some of the family over to make Shaquille feel like he's part of the family. After this man has been sitting up here all these weeks, now at the last minute, you want to try and get people together. So she said that she invited her brother and her mother, and her brother wasn't able to make it. So her mom came, and she actually gave them, I think, some really good advice. And it potentiates how stupid Kirsten is, because they could have got this advice from her weeks ago. But Kirsten decided, I don't believe her when she tells Shaq that it's scheduling that stopped them from being able to get together, with her family. Because I remember when she was talking to Rudy about the Memphis trip, she said that she had to plan a birthday party, for her grandmother. That would have been a perfect time to take Shaq over there. They don't have to have Married at First Sight there with the cameras and everything. They can do the little mini cam, thing, and be like, hey, we're getting ready to go, to visit Kirsten's family. I'm really excited, and this, that, and the third. And that could have been it. And people didn't have to be on TV if they didn't want to be on TV, but still have that as a documentation. Like when they went to Memphis. Remember when when they went to Jackson, when Shaq, after the wedding, told her that they had to go to Jackson because he had to do something, with his doctorate stuff. Kirsten was in the hotel room doing the little, the personal cam or the mini cam, and they could have did that, with the family gathering, as well. And there's something going on with that trip to Memphis that Kirsten is not telling, and that she thinks that Shaq has gotten into his feelings about it. She said this on the after show, and she said that he needs to get over it. And my thing with Kirsten is, I agree with Shaq when he told her, it's not all about you. You think that the way that this is going to go is the way that you want it to go. And he said, yeah, that ain't going to fly. And what she should have did was apologize to him for the way that she treated him at the beginning of the marriage. I think that if she had done that, then that would have done a lot to allay some of the resentment that he could be feeling towards her now, because he sees her hot and cold. Kirsten is hot and cold. And she's another one that doesn't want to take responsibility for her mess. And she's always crying and whining about Shaquille, what Shaquille ain't doing, and not acknowledging anything that she's done. And people was like, in my comments, talking about that he's being petty, because he's holding on to stuff that, happened in the beginning of the marriage. Kirsten needs to fix that. She broke it, so she needs to fix it. It's not his job to just get over, how she treated him. It's her job to go to her husband and let him know, I made a mistake. And I want to let you know that you are blah, blah, blah. You're worthy, you're attractive, you're intelligent. I see all these great things about you that I missed, and I was all in my head and my feelings, and I really, kind of want to let you know that I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And if that made you feel some kind of way, I ask you, for forgiveness. And that would have done a lot to put a lot of this to bed. But she can't do that because she can't admit her mess. So I stayed on that longer than I wanted to. So anyway, they had a scene before the mother came. I told you I'm skipping all over the place. And Shaq was making breakfast for dinner. So this is after Kirsten had talked to her brother. And she was saying to Shaq some of the stuff that she was saying to her brother, that she wants to know that he likes her. And I mean, she sounded like she was in the ninth grade. Do you like me? With the box. Check yes or no. I can't with her. I can't. I just don't see womanhood. I see potential womanhood in Kirsten, but I don't see womanhood in her right now. On the after show, I already told you Kirsten was in there crying about Shaq. And then Jasmine, she still got her, hopeful. You know what? I invite y'all to go back and look at Jasmine in that after show, because she started doing something with her teeth. Like her bottoms, I saw a difference in her bottoms. And she was doing a good job at trying to hide it. But yeah, I invite y'all to go back and actually go look at that. And so, Rudy had her husband on. I love them. I think that I can feel the love and the connectivity, that they have, with one another. And I just really, really hope that they're able to stay together and really, be happy and enjoy each other the way that a husband and a wife is supposed to. So I really do. I hope that, for her. As I got to talking about McKinley, and they played where he said that he wished that he had been matched with Gina. And Rudy asked her if McKinley, was somebody that she would date. She said, yeah. But she also thinks that the rest of the guys on the cast, are just as worthy, to go out with, as well. So I actually thought that she did a really good job dodging, that question, because Mack is trying to get her all up in the mix. This boy is trying to get her in the mix, okay? And Gina said, yeah, no, cousin, I'm not doing it with you. So we shall see what their future, holds. I think, so one of the things when Kirsten and Shaq were talking in the kitchen, I think it was in the kitchen, and so he was asking her, after she told him that she had invited her mother and I think her brother, over to dinner, with them. And he was like, well, why did it take so long? And she said scheduling. Like I said, I don't believe her. I think that she didn't want Shaquille around her family, getting feelings and being connected when she knew that she was going to drop him like a bad habit on decision day. And so he was asking her that, those are the kind of questions he was probing. And she was like, she gave me the impression that yes, that's how she felt before, but she didn't tell him. And she says that, well, I'm telling you where I'm at now. And no, it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that we might not make it, after decision day. Which, yeah, I don't believe her. Wish he had a better comeback when she said that, but I guess he just kind of wanted to keep peace. So I want to thank anybody who has stayed with me, this long. I am exhausted. I want to really give honor and praise to the Lord for helping me through this fire. It's been a lot. And after the season is over, I'm going to, like I said, do a story time, about it. And hopefully, it'll help you guys put some stuff, into perspective. And if you find it valuable, then I hope it helps, somebody out there. If you find yourself, in a situation that you will be in the best possible position to survive it. I don't know if there's something else, that I wanted to say. Oh, yeah. So we're coming up to the end. And what happens is after decision day, they have the reunion. And I'm not going to review the reunion. I'll come back when they do the Where Are They Now episode. And I'll talk about the reunion and what happened in the Where Are They Now episode together. So I'm going to have a break for the 2 weeks of the reunion, and I'll be back for the Where Are They Now. Then when the season's over, I have story time about the fire, and I'll be doing the Handmaid's Tale sidebars. So I think that's it, you guys. I appreciate you. Appreciate your support. If you out there praying for me, praise the Lord. And I hope blessings, in your life for taking the time out, to help me in my spiritual walk. I really would appreciate, some prayers to uplift me. It's been challenging. And I really could use the power of the Holy Spirit to hold my heart, because I'm hurting. I'm hurting right now. And I will talk to you guys after the next episode. Have a great day.